Week 4, January 25th, and today I didn't go to a church at all. I went to the Waking Up Community weekly meditation meetup. They have a chapter here in Salt Lake City. So I went to that today. High score, great time. Here's the breakdown of the experience that I had today. So, first, I just want to read the charter of what the group is all about. It's a weekly gathering focused on mindful listening and authentic expression that strives for a safe, non judgmental space designed for connection, personal reflection, and supportive community for members of the Waking Up app. You don't have to be a member of the Waking Up app, you don't have to have the app to come and meditate. We begin with a 10-minute meditation, which we did, followed by open discussion, which we did, in which all are encouraged to mostly listen with full attention to understand others, briefly share personally meaningful feelings and thoughts if desired, and then there's a watch out, which I think is really smart to avoid reactive comments, advice giving, teaching, academic discussion, preaching, judging, etc. So overall, it was cool. We met in a community center in Daybreak. There was 8 of us there total. It was interesting because we met in like a conference room in the community center and sat around a boardroom table in these boardroom leather chairs and opened with it was like a 14-minute, it wasn't a silent meditation, it was a guided meditation, and then the whole thing lasted for 2 hours, and everyone just kind of shared personal insights and things that they've learned from their own journeys and experiences with meditation. Some of the things I took away that I thought were really valuable and I want to share was concepts of non-duality. We kind of explained that as in like a blade of grass you would call grass, but a field of grass you would also call grass. So you are the blade and you're the field. You're both and you're neither. Non-duality. We talked about how meditation can inform ethics. We talked about how integrity plays a role in individual ethics and institutional ethics. We talked about the implications of consciousness and compassion on individuals and institutions. We talked about social media and politics even came up. We talked about content versus being content. And we talked about can you participate in social media consciously? And if so, how? I'm trying to do that. This is the best thing I can come up with yet. So with all that, here's my rating for the Waking Up Communities meditation meetup. For meaning and message, how effectively did the service offer interpretation of existence, purpose, worldview, clarity, direction, or insight into the human condition? I would say a 9. A lot of the concepts that we covered were meaningful and gave meaning. 2, ritual experience and flow. An 8, there wasn't any ritual. It was a very open container. But I think that allowed the meeting to find its own ritual and its own flow. So it wasn't overly structured. The lack of structure allowed the space to create its own structure. 3, ethics and integrity. And 8, here, does the messaging and atmosphere reflect moral cohesion, compassion, humility, honesty, and responsibility? I think, yeah. Um, Toward the end, the conversation started to veer off into people's personal thoughts and opinions, especially when we got into topics of like social media and politics. Everyone was still like more than respectful, and definitely it was like a thoughtful, conscientious bunch. 4, community energy and belonging. I'm going to rate that as 7, only because there wasn't really much of a sense of community as to be expected. It was a very small group. I think a fairly new group, but still felt like there was some cohesion. 5, learning and cognitive expansion. That's going to get an 8. That captures intellectual insight, new perspectives, and meaningful growth. I definitely learned some things and will definitely use some things from what I learned. Lastly, heart resonance and emotional impact. So this was the thing that stuck out to me the most, that is going to be the biggest detractor of points for this group. This is only going to be rated a 6 because everything was very logical. Not a lot was felt. We were very in our minds, which isn't good or bad. It's just what it was. But there wasn't. It was all head, no heart. Overall, though, that's a 46 out of 60. So the Waking Up Communities weekly meditation meetup is going to be tied with the Salt Lake Buddhist Temple at 46 out of 60 possible total points. Great experience overall. Really cool group. I would definitely go back. Next week is going to be, I haven't decided yet, but something completely different. So see you then.